This is the Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman podcast.
NBA, some college, a little bit of everything.
But Baylor Scheierman, trust me. So the first time I saw this kid play was South Dakota State was playing Providence in the NCAA tournament a few years ago in the same region that UConn, by the way, lost to New Mexico State. And I see this kid with a headband on. I had seen him on over the last couple of years at South Dakota State because they're one of the better mid-majors in the country. And Bob's going to lead us to Eric Henderson, South Dakota State head coach here in a second. But headband on, 6'5", 6'6", and he's got a flair about him. He's got the ball in his hands a lot. He can shoot it. The whole offense is kind of built around Baylor Scheierman at this point. He, again, flashy passes, big, could shoot the hell out of the ball. Just a baller, an absolute baller. And after 2 years ago, he transfers to Creighton. And he at that point, NIL had just started. And he made some good money to go to Creighton at that point. And he goes to Creighton. He has 2 really, really good years, again, where he shoots like almost 40% from three. He can pass it. He rebounds his position. He is going to play a role on the Boston Celtics. Trust me, this kid can shoot the hell out of it. He can move the ball. He's a great decision maker. He's got size. The only thing he can't really do, he can't really guard at a high level, but he can do almost everything else.
Sounds good, Bob.
I did speak with Eric Henderson, who recruited him out of the town of Aurora, Nebraska, population 4479, according to the Atlas, and where he was a major football star as well, a quarterback, by the way. The only offer he got was they were the only team to offer him a D1 offer at South Dakota State. And he, as Jeff said, he played the 3 years there, and that then needed after he was the best player in the Summit, and then transferring up and working out very well. He plays, according to Eric, with an unbridled joy. He is a passionate lover of the game of basketball, and he transmits this joy to his teammates. That he is he said, no, he'll never be a superstar in this league, but he said he will fit in on and off the court with this group, and that he is an ideal fit. If you're going to be picking 30th in the draft, he's an ideal fit for this particular team at this particular point in time. They couldn't have found. Now, why him? On top of it, just so happens that Kyle Marshall, who was an assistant for Eric Henderson at South Dakota State, played for Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens has had this guy on his radar screen for a long time because of his connection with Kyle Marshall. So that answers that question. Why him above? You might be able to find that profile for 10 other guys around the country that we don't know a lot about, but Jeff does, but we don't. But this is the guy, and so there you go. That's why it's him and not somebody else, because Brad Stevens has known about this guy, and this is no act. This is no gee. What do you think? No, this is calculated that they have Baylor Scheierman. And so I think it's an excellent pick.
He's going to play because Brad wouldn't have drafted him. He would have traded out of that pick if he didn't really like him and think that he can make which he will, because he can give you some of the same things Hauser. He can give you some of the same things, Gary, that Hauser gives you, but he's a better overall player.
Okay, so Hauser loses playing time eventually?
They're different positions, but sure, in a sense that you could throw Scheierman out there in the second unit, and again, he's big enough and he moves the ball and he can get to the basket. Like, he's going to be fun to watch with these dudes. I'm telling you, he's going to be, and you want to leave him alone, just like Hauser. He's probably not quite as good of a pure shooter as Hauser, but again, he's a guy that knows how to make the right play. He'll find dudes, and he's flashy, he's crafty. And if you put him out there the beauty of the Celtics team is he's going to be out there in the second unit with one of Tatum or Brown, one of White or Holiday, maybe Horford. So there's going to be some good defensive players out there with him that he won't be exposed quite as much on that end of the floor.
This is where context is always everything when you're talking about guys in drafts and in football and basketball. I'm sure in hockey as well. Not so much baseball because it's more of an individual accumulation of separate individual acts. But he's very fortunate that a team such as the Celtics exist at them as they are, that won him, and this could be a terrific marriage. So I'm interested to see how it transpires.
For $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code CLNS and get $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed.